Oh man, that sun goes right inside the shelter. Okay, so good morning and welcome to the first day on the International AT. If you're just joining me at this point, my name is Mackaye. I actually hiked here from Key West, Florida. It took me 252 days and 4,150 miles. And yes, that feels like a very, 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 very long time. If you're just finding this because you're looking up information on the International AT and finding there's not much out there, this is, for me, part of a hike doing the Eastern Continental Trail, which starts in Key West, Florida, 200 miles south of the Florida Trail, does the entirety of the Florida Trail, 50 miles connecting through Blackwater to get to the Alabama Roadwalk, 200-ish miles through Alabama, rural roads, things like that, to hit the Pinhoti Trail, 350 miles doing the Pinhoti Trail, 70-some miles down to Springer Mountain, and then the entirety of the Appalachian Trail. I just summited Katahdin yesterday, and yeah. I've been making videos the entire time, so this is episode like 93. So if you're interested in what any of those trails look like, there's a lot of grumbling I've been recording. Also, you can see my giggling girlfriend Taters as she is amazed by every little bug and frog we find along the way. Except for the 2 months or so that she was with me, I'm a solo hiker, so I'm just out here hanging by myself. This is going to be a bit of an adjustment after spending, months and months on the AT with all the record crowds this year. At least this initial part is continuing with shelters. I am currently hiding out in my tent from a ton of these little whitish green bugs that are everywhere, drinking my morning coffee. It seems like most of the people that come visit this are day hikers. There's one sign in the shelter register that says somebody hiking for the border. It rained really damn hard last night. Started a bit after dark. These tin roofs, you really hear it in here when that happens, and there was a couple of leaks, so I was happy to be inside of my tent. Today, there's a chance of thunderstorms. Honestly, I'm quite glad I made it up Katahdin yesterday, because otherwise I probably would have been held back another day. I will have more to say in the future about what I thought about the AT, how it compared with the PCT, etc., but especially considering the less than stellar experience I had post-Karatunk, I'm going to let that percolate for a while. The last 2 days, up and out before dawn. Today, 10 o'clock. I feel beat up and tired. Unfortunately, no break for at least 45 miles or so. So last I got a weather forecast, it said chance of rain and thunderstorms today. I don't know if that was just what hit last night or what, because it really came down for a while. I am wearing sunscreen and sunglasses for the first time in quite a while. So that's the terminus you can just see on the other side of that dip. Huh, I just saw a juvenile bear run across the road up there. So it's been a bit overgrown in places and a few down trees, but I mean, as you can see, somebody's mowed this section. Okay, and there is rather a lot of mosquitoes out here, so I can't really stop moving. And here's that second lean-to that I was talking about wanting to reach last night. So I'm happy with where I stayed. Less mosquito-y than here. Big one. So far this feels more remote than the 100-mile wilderness did. I haven't heard or seen any sign of anybody. So I think I only had to take my shoes off to cross something on the AT 2 or 3 times. And yet IAT, here we go. A couple of miles in and already boots off. Except, I don't really feel like taking my boots off. So, yeah, I'm just going to let them dry out. It's probably going to rain later today anyway, So after the water crossing this morning, this has actually turned into trail. It's been a little slower going because I do have basically 2 small mountain ranges in the IAT Maine section, and the taller one, which goes up to almost 2,000 feet. That one happens today, and then I'm basically flat until mile 115 or so. Huh, that must be ruins of the fire warden cabin. Lots of nails. Okay, up on DZ Mountain, and there once again is Katahdin. Also, check this out. Fire lookout here is actually pretty intact. And I mean, the Osborne's even in there, the firefinder there. I volunteered for 2 years at a fire lookout near San Jacinto, so I got trained on those. Huh. And see, this is the sort of thing that I really missed on the PCT, where I was just over there. Then I hiked all the way over here. It's cool to get a sense of progress. Okay, looks like I've got rain and thunderstorms on the way, as you can tell from the clouds. So looks like I better beat it over this other mountain. Okay, hopefully everybody's off Katahdin today, because I'm hearing thunder from here. And this is what it still looks like in the other direction. Started to rain just as I got to this next shelter. It's just going off and on, so I'm going to hold for a couple of minutes and see. No point in getting doused if don't have to. Though I really want to make another 10 miles now that I'm over the peak. Not the worst timing! So I am not in my sleeping bag right now because I'm really torn. I want to get at least another 5 miles today, but I also really don't want to be hiking out in that if I don't have to. With all the overgrown vegetation, I'm just going to be soaked. My back's going to be soaked. Okay, seeing how there's major electrical activity right on top of me, I think I'm here for the night. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to wait till it dies down enough to go get water because I don't have enough for camp. Well, this is the nastiest water run I've had to do in a little while. So that storm that hit last night was a little more intense than I wanted to be hiking in. There was thunder and lightning right on top of me. This entire shelter was shaking. Right about dark, I ended up making a run for the water source because I didn't have enough to cook dinner and everything. And I was in my flip-flops, fortunately, because trail was flooded and everything. So not a bad day to cut short, but I am a little bummed that I'm this far back because I'm getting a little sparse on food and power. Now, last weather report I saw said the weather was going to be better for about 2 days and then another rainstorm. So here's hoping I can, make some good progress now. I was going to make like a 20-plus mile day yesterday before everything kind of fell apart there. As you can see, I just spent the night here in the shelter. I know some people really like sleeping in these things. It was nice to be out of the rain and not have to set up my tent while it was raining and everything. But quite frankly, the tent is much cozier and warmer and all of that. It protects you from the wind versus these things have 3 walls, so that wind can whip in here and blow stuff all around. Not to mention, on the AT shelters especially, you've got issues with mice, and one of them had a snake. That was kind of cool. I also remember running into some lady who was kind of freaked out because I guess a raccoon had popped up in the shelter and it was like aggressively chasing people off. Like it was biting at her sleeping pad and hissing. So she had like run out of there terrified. So I have not seen anybody since those guys that were right at the terminus. I heard somebody yesterday when I was on the fire lookout, but they never came over. It's kind of a change from AT land, huh? Also, I have pretty much decided that in the future I am going to carry a bigger battery. I carry a 20K battery. I can get 5-6 days out of it, but I keep stretching it, and I'm tired of stressing about having enough power and having to, conserve, because I like listening to audiobooks during the day. I like to be able to text with taters and, post things when I have reception, and that just hasn't been the case. So I'll probably either get an additional 10K battery, or my preference would just be get the 26K, larger brick. The plus side of all the wind that's been whipping through here is I think it actually may have dried off all the plants. That'll make hiking today a lot nicer. So I often prefer to take rest days in between sections just to kind of like get a reset and make sure I set off well. I didn't want to do that after Katahdin just because getting out of Baxter and back in is such a hassle. I admit I do kind of wish I'd been able to though, just because I'm on fumes in so many ways. We once again have a moose on the loose. Hey, moose. Hey there, buddy. Well, damn it. This trip I've been croc blocked and moose blocked. Okay, come on, buddy. I can't walk around you. Literally, there is no trail. And I really don't want to get mauled by a moose. You are a gentleman and a scholar. So I have been dealing with more blowdowns since being on the IAT, but so far they haven't been bad. A lot of them actually have a visible boot track around them. You know, people are at the very least day hiking up here. So I know I often come off as, you know, kind of down and tired because, you know, I'm tired. It takes a lot of energy to do a long hike like this. It's all about, you know, shepherding your energy for when it counts. So yes, if I'm on a 0 day, I'm not even going to get up unless I have to go to the bathroom or something because I need to shepherd that energy. But there's also just some mornings that are spectacular. And this is one of those. Also, I had 3 cups of coffee for the first time in like a week or two, so that could be why I'm feeling so good. Seriously, how am I not sponsored by like Starbucks Via or something? So when I was just looking at the map, you know, some of these sections are labeled roads, so I didn't know if I was going to be on, you know, dirt roads like some of the Florida Trail and things like that. So far, it's been old logging roads that are different levels of overgrown, but, you know, it's effectively like walking on a trail. And segments of trail like up to the fire lookout. This has actually been really nice so far. This is getting a big thumbs up. Okay, I may be missing my old hiking pants just a little bit this morning. Legs are getting a little bit scraped up. You know, other than the occasional blowdown slowing me down, I'm making a good, you know, 3+ miles an hour at the moment. So stuff like this is usually how they close off old roads when they won't want people driving them anymore. Funny story, most remote populated place in the US is called Jarbidge. It's up in northern Idaho, I think. It's right on the border. And they did that to a road, and the locals actually went, hauled the rock away, put it in the middle of town, and it's now like a monument celebrating people coming together to work against the Forest Service. I really did not expect to have these IAT markers everywhere. It's kind of nice because honestly the AT, Florida Trail, etc. kind of spoiled me. I'm used to having to just follow topos and things like that. The blazes have been nice in a way just because you can kind of go on autopilot a little bit more. You know, you may not know if it's the right direction, but you don't got to pull out your map because, oh, hey, in another 20 seconds there's a blaze. See, there's one. Otherwise, you know, and I think I only got off trail on the AT once or twice, and it was doing something dumb, and I walked for a minute or two and went, wait, I don't see anything, and then went back. Florida Trail, though, whole other thing. That one trains you to be really, really careful with the blazes. But the FTA has been pretty good about positioning them, so generally if you do get off, you go back and you're like, oh, I missed the, not quite obvious, but I missed a turn I might not have missed were I a little less tired and swampy. Okay, so this is the entryway to Bolin Camp. The sign back on the IAT claimed it was only 0.1 off. There's no comments, but said sign said it had things like, you know, fuel and meals. Plus, I figured I should go see the bridge, you know, deal with Tater's bridge fetish since she's not here. This is downright civilized. So I come here, ran into a lady. She was super nice. Turns out they don't have a cook or anything currently because, you know, COVID employment shortage. But she was nice enough to let me fill my bottles, and I'm currently charging off their generator, at least for the next 15 minutes while it's still on. And her grandson even made me a little bag of like junk food snacks. So awesome. No, I'm a little bit sad, no hot food, but. So literally the only thing out of these snacks that I'm saying no to are these things, because it seems like whenever I pick them up and carry them, I just don't eat them. They get crushed and we had a conversation the night before Katahdin about how same thing. Nobody seems to really like these. Also, I was really bummed because I lost one of the caps to my smart water bottle, and that kind of cuts my capacity down when I need to dry camp and whatnot. But hey, they found one that fit for me here. Well, yes, I did just eat like 1,000 calories of junk food, but don't judge me. I walked a long way to get here. The lady made me a grilled cheese. Okay, on my way. There is a chance if I can make it to Mackaye tonight before 7 that I may be able to get hot food, which would be a nice little treat, and then I can get close enough to Chase Mountain Lodge area to see about maybe taking a Nero the day after. I did also get some information from the caretaker couple. Apparently, I just got shot by a wilderness camera. So apparently it is bear season. This is like the second week of it, though there is no bear hunting on this side of the river because it's the IAT, etc. So I don't have to worry about that. I also found out that the blowdowns have been worked up ahead. Also, that grilled cheese and junk food really made me happy. Doesn't take much these days, you know? Okay, so apparently that chainsaw crew only worked a very, very small section of this going north. But that's okay. Actually, it turns out I'm just an idiot because I popped under that and kept going and started jumping a whole bunch of blowdowns. So I missed all this. Yeah. Oh my God, this one even has a chair. IAT shelters are way better than AT. All the privies have had toilet paper too. Okay, well, that bench could use a little work. Man, doesn't get much better than this, huh? I am just having all sorts of a good day. Here I am walking along going, oh, this road's going really well. Somebody says hello. He's a director with the IAT organization. I was kind of surprised I hadn't reached out to him to like say hi and that I was hiking the trail, which that's a good idea. I should probably like prep for these things more, but so I had a nice chat. The good news is per him, I likely have until November until the weather is going to be a real problem. So, you know, that's good. That means Gaspe is still a possibility here. Assuming I don't get delayed at the Canadian border. Here's hoping. Huh. Kind of feels weird that this trail doesn't go up every, bump in sight. Okay, here's hoping this place is open, huh? So basically not long after I arrived, they opened up, let me in, and then locked the door because they had word from up the road that there was a disturbed individual that was acting weird. He had, among other things, been having conversations with taxidermy animals, and there was something about there was a woman in his car who was acting off and may or may not be there voluntarily. And he was headed our way. Pizza stop / hiding from the crazy guy, which is now wandering around outside. He did eventually show up, and when he saw me through the window, he came over and announced, "Don't worry, I'm stronger than you," and then proceeded to wander to the back of the property. Okay, so slight change of plans due to a slight situation with a alleged paranoid schizophrenic guy that's been going around here. They're actually going to let me stay in a cabin tonight rather than on the side of the road. It's been an exciting couple of hours. So yeah, home sweet home for the night, I guess. Yet another example of you never know how your day is going to go.